Well, what we intend with the Esade economic report is twice a year to offer a sort of first a general view of what our assessment and view of the current economic developments is, and also a little bit to offer a space for a debate, trying to get some impact in the society we live in. This edition has, say, 4 different parts. The first one looks at the current economic developments. The second one is a contribution by 2 leading economists, and they discuss a little bit the advantages and inconvenience of the labor market reform. We also have a contribution on China, and finally a summary of 2 books that one should certainly read.
The economic recovery has not been very strong in developed countries after the Great Recession in 2008, 2009. The main problem is the cumulated level of debt. This can be either private debt or public debt, but anyway, this huge level of debt is making it difficult for private consumption and private investment to grow at a good path. Now, even emerging economies are going through some problems, basically because of the decreasing price of oil and raw materials, but also due to an exit of capitals from these emerging economies to the developed world. This is creating problems in the financial sector and is decreasing the volume of credit in these economies.
Well, the Eurozone, especially the European Central Bank, has done a lot in these last years, right? One of the things that is now a big question mark is whether the interest rates will stay lower for longer, and this has certainly huge implications for the overall economy, but particularly, for example, for the financial sector, which has been hardly hit since Thursday, 23rd. So the ECB will be certainly at the center stage of the policy reaction given these uncertainties, but also at some point fiscal policy probably will have to play a bigger role than the one that has been playing until now. In certain countries, those that they do have fiscal space, they certainly should play a more active role.
At economic level, we shall see an increase of uncertainty as well as an increase in volatility in financial markets, but then in the medium run, the main problem could be disruption in the international trade. But such a disruption would be a problem basically for the United Kingdom. From the point of view of the Eurozone, the problems are basically at the political level.
One has to acknowledge that certainly it is the country that wants to leave, the one that has the sort of leadership in the process. It's a little bit astonishing, but that's the way it is, right? Now, I hope British authorities or the UK authorities are conscious enough that prolonging the uncertainty stage is not good for them, is not good for us, and it's not good for the European project as a whole. Right? China is undertaking 3 transitions simultaneously. The first transition is going from, say, investment to consumption, which can have huge implications for the current account developments in China. The second, transition to deleveraging because of the high volumes of debt that have been accumulated since the crisis. And the third transition would be what role of monetary policy will play in this process of the acceleration of the economy and the level of the exchange rate, right? All these 3 transitions have to come out well all together. So whatever happens to the second economy in the world, it is of essence in the world economy. Hopefully this will not go very far, and the Chinese authorities will be able to smoothly transit through these transitions, but if not, things could get a little bit tough.